Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of RowMMo. Today's topic, the second song, What About Me? Not the first one on the album, but the first one I released and possibly the best one according to a lot of people. Releasing this song as my debut, I naturally knew it was one of the best ones on the album. But I would also like to state that I actually hadn't finished writing the full album at the time. However, actually releasing this thing to the world, seeing the happy responses to it, I must say it was a very good motivator to keep going. Getting into actually releasing my music was new to me too. I researched a lot before choosing to distribute with CD Baby as I do now. A lot less thinking went into the cover art to this single. That doesn't mean I knew that I needed it to look exactly like it does now back then. Rather, it might mean that the picture itself is a lot older than the song. Actually being taken by my father as a lightning experiment back in January of 2022. I had since kept the photo as my phone lock screen, seeing it every day when I pick up my phone. I was actually pleasantly surprised when a friend of mine came up to me about a week after it had released, showing his phone's lock screen that it did now had the photo in it too. I laughed, showed him mine, told the story, and naturally also offered up to send him a high-res version of the photo as a sign of my appreciation. Back to the song now, because it was actually not recorded in GarageBand like most others. Rather, it was my first ever attempt recording on a Windows computer instead, making use of a program called BandLab. Naturally, when I get introduced to new tools, I get carried away, and I make genius apparently based on Spotify streams. This in turn makes me naturally think the program is fantastic, being able to put out hits like that, but after some time I realize it has some serious flaws, like input delay as well as other things that I won't go into this video. So I'm back to my Mac, but I'm not mad, since if I hadn't tried the song and the program, obviously the song would have never been made. And I'm happy it was, because it's one of my favorites too. If I were to explain everything there is to explain about this thing, I would still be doing it in Christmas this year. So I will spare you the big details, and especially the music details, because we have a lot to focus on when it comes to lyrics. And once again, I would like to specify that pretty much all of these were made from scratch and then fitted to meanings, and then adjusted to fit those meanings. Nothing is perfect. Most of it is just made up. It's very cryptic, and it's just for fun. But at the base, I would like to say that What About Me is about a person of unknown origin who's tired of living by other people's rules, tired of living the same life he has lived for years upon it. Keeps telling himself that the world is dying. He keeps giving himself problems just to have something to grieve over, just to have something to be sad for. He's tired of his old school friends, so-called friends, that may have bullied him, may have treated him worse, or maybe just have not been what he wanted. People who don't care about their own future or the future of others, living life as if it's just there, like if it ain't special. He's tired of them fussing, they're talking around about something insignificant, and he's tired of the greed for the life that they are able to have while no one else is. Because what about him? What about them, the people who haven't found? the way they want to live their life. The people who are also tired. What about us? And what about you? What about the poor little sinners who haven't found the meaning? Crawling out of their home, desperate for redemption. They have not learned to live yet. And here in the chorus, we see these thoughts going through the character's head. The narrator, me, screaming in them out into the abyss, and then being answered. Cannot live without a soul. One cannot know the difference between good and bad. And it's in this character's almost state of rage or sorrow, maybe redemption, that this solo, or this middle part of the song, is supposed to represent. That we see an outburst of something, emotion, maybe tears, maybe something completely different. Him instead screaming out to the abyss, listen to me, listen to them, listen to us, and at the end, listen to you. I see it as nothing else than a panic. A lot of thoughts compromised down to a few noble words, to very simplistically explain what might go through this person's head. And at the end, he screams out again to the poor little sinners crawling out their holes. They are not ready to die when nobody called. Which is precisely why here the character has nothing to say at all. What about me? The difference between honor and goals, one might never know. But it very well might be honesty. Yes, what about us? Because honesty is what separates you from success. And at the end, screams out again, do I need to remind you of when you took crawl? A message to the people who have succeeded, who have found meaning in their lives. Asking them to think back and to remember when they hadn't. When they too were just searching. When they too were tired of living by others' rules. Not in a rebellious way, but in a tired way. In a way that said, I matter. What about me? And once again, I would like to specify that this is very cryptic. Even me explaining it now is immensely cryptic. And very hard to understand, possibly. But that's a good thing. And as a songwriter, it's pretty much what I want. Then you can look at it yourself. Understand it. Maybe take a part of it. Make it yours. Because having something this cryptic makes it so that barely I even know what it means. In a way, it's from another world. A story from another world. Just retold. But this episode is nearing 10 minutes. And I'm afraid I'm gonna have to say goodbye.